Hello and welcome back to Growing in the Cove. My name is Stacy and I garden in Zone 5B, Newfoundland. So I have been away for a little while because my entire household got sick, but we're starting to come around and I thought I would take you out in the garden with me today. I've got my baskets and I've got some harvesting to do. So if you'd like to see what's happening in the garden, please keep watching. So back in my July tour, I had kind of given up hope on these beans because they were looking so nutrient deprived and sick that I really didn't think they were going to produce. But I started fertilizing them every week, every Friday, for about 5 weeks, and I have so many beans. Even though my plants are really small and definitely stunted, it doesn't seem to have affected their production. So I'm going to show you these amazing dragon tongue beans. So bush beans are always something that I recommend for new beginners. Bush beans are always something that I recommend for novice gardeners to try because you pretty much stick them in the ground and you do nothing. There are very few pests that actually mess with them, and you end up with these incredible, beautiful beans, and they are so delicious. Just frying them in a pan with olive oil and garlic, salt and pepper, one of my favorite side dishes. So this is the beautiful dragon tongue bean, and they've got this beautiful purple mottling and they are incredible. So I'll give you a look of how they're actually looking on the plants. It's just so exciting to see these little jewels hanging off of all of my bean plants. Okay, so here's a closer look. I'm sorry, I'm right next to a road, but here's a closer look at how loaded down my plants are with beans. So this is my first flush of beans, and they'll keep producing for probably a couple of weeks before they shut down. These, I just can't believe I even really got anything out of these, to be honest, because they looked so sick for so long. But obviously my TLC was effective. Like, look at that. So I am gonna get picking and we'll see how many beans I have here. Okay, so my harvest is done, and look at these beautiful beans. The dragon tongue is one of my favorite varieties of bush beans. They are just gorgeous. They almost don't look real. They look as if they've been painted with these purple streaks. They're so pretty and they're delicious. And I got half of this big basket from less than 1 pack of seeds, and they're not done producing. So highly encourage to grow bush beans in your garden, and dragon tongue from Revival Seeds is one of the best. Welcome to my late August greenhouse. Now is the time when everything is coming to fruition, and I've got a lot of right now green tomatoes, but I've got a lot of ripe peppers. So I'm actually going to pick some jalapenos. I'm going to make some jalapeno poppers, which I will link the recipe for anybody who's interested. It's not my own. It's more of a stuffed jalapeno with cream cheese and cheddar cheese that you bake in the oven with breadcrumbs on top, and it's so good. So I'm going to take you into the greenhouse and we'll harvest a few things out of here. I so apologize for all of the wind, but first of all, I just want to give you a look at this display of pots in front of my greenhouse. I feel like they're kind of at their peak right now, and they're looking so pretty. Here in the front, I have a rosemary, which I've overwintered for, I think this is its 4th year now. I've got some curly willow in pots, which are so pretty. And then these pots are looking so nice. They've got impatiens and begonias and this incredible lobelia. All of this was grown from seed or corm by me. Got some coleus back here. I love this hanging begonia. But yeah, they're just looking so pretty. But yeah, let's take you into the greenhouse. I'm aware, and I know I'm gonna get comments of my tomatoes are not ripening because I have too much foliage on my plants, and I have been removing leaves every day to try to get things to ripen. But I definitely need to do more of that. Okay, I have now turned off my fan so you can hear me better. But yeah, as I was saying, I've got a lot of green tomatoes that I'm just waiting on to color up. A lot of what I have in here are actually paste tomatoes because I'm hoping to make a lot of tomato sauce this year. These San Marzanos are blowing my mind. I actually just bought a tomato mill for tomato sauce off of Marketplace, so I'm pretty excited. But I mean, these trusses have 7 fair-sized tomatoes on there. I mean, this variety, I've heard a lot of people say they get blossom end rot with it, and I cannot say that has been the case for me, and they're still producing. And since my greenhouse is a protected area, I'm going to let mine keep making tomatoes. I know a lot of people like to prune their tomatoes to get them all to ripen now, but I feel like I've still got a few more weeks since I'm inside the greenhouse of growing, so I'm gonna let them keep going. In here, these are another sauce variety called Plum Regal. I'm not as impressed with those. They're not as productive as the San Marzanos, and they're a hybrid, so that's pretty disappointing. I've got some of these really cool looking heirlooms. These are called Castelluto Genovese, and that's an old Italian variety. It remains to be seen if I'm gonna grow this again next year because I feel like it's really late developing. Here I've got some Jaune Flamme, or Yellow Flame in French, and I've been waiting forever for these to ripen. In the back you'll see some orange tomatoes. Those are gold nuggets, and they're coming in. In the front, yes, this is a broomstick. It's a broken broomstick. I'm at the point in the season where I'm running out of stakes, so I'm using what I got. But I do have these Italian heirlooms. I'm not sure if I'm gonna grow these next year because they're not the most productive, but we'll see. I'm not making any judgments yet. I've got more San Marzanos in the back. I've got a cherry in the back as well. These are called Amethyst Jewel, and they're supposed to be like a purple and pink. I think they're gonna look really pretty when they eventually ripen. And my chocolate cherry is ripening and definitely has some pickable cherries for me. So it's probably my favorite cherry variety. I've also got this Sunrise Bumblebee, which for me this year has not been very productive. And although it's a gorgeous variety, I think I'm taking a break from this next year. I've got the Nightingale tomato back here, which is a new introduction by a tomato breeder who gave some seeds away for Nurses Week. So I'm excited to try that. And I've got another black crim here. I already had my first tomato sandwich of the season and it was fantastic. But what we are here for is the peppers. I can see some of these may need some water, but I've got some Anaheims here. My jalapenos have just kind of gone insane. Oh, actually, this is a sweet pepper. This is a Jimmy Nardello, Italian sweet pepper. These are Anaheims. Look at the size of these. I've never grown peppers like this. Like, this year is my first year really doing well with it. Like, these branches are getting heavy. I'm gonna need to tie these up, but I've got jalapenos galore. This is a hybrid jalapeno and I'm loving it. They're so tall. They're so full of oh, this one definitely needs to be picked. When they turn red, they're still edible, but they're really ripe and they have to be picked. So you can tell some of these are older. They definitely have to go. And the more you pick, that will signal the plant to keep producing more peppers. This is an interesting hot pepper called Kalugaritza. Very cool. I think it turns red, so it's not ripe yet. Over here, this is a beautiful one. It's a fish pepper, and it's got these really cool variegated leaves, and I've got lots of little peppers all over. I've got probably like hundreds of flowers on here, so I am looking forward to that. This one's definitely hotter than a jalapeno though, and its branches are just kind of taking over. In here, this was supposed to be a cayenne, and it is not. So I must have mixed up my seeds. So I think I have another Anaheim, and this might be another Anaheim, and I only meant to have one of those. But that's okay, all the peppers are welcome. So here's my harvest. 4 jalapeno plants. I am absolutely shocked by this harvest. And they're still not done producing. This is probably, I don't know, a couple of pounds of jalapenos. They are huge. I've never grown jalapenos this big. They are massive. They almost look like a big thing of dill pickles. I'm so impressed. I really wanted to grow a hybrid variety this year. Full disclosure, I had a terrible pepper year the last 2 years I gardened. And growing them in pots has been such a game changer for me. So yeah, I am so excited. I have more than enough to make jalapeno poppers, and maybe we will pickle some for the fall and winter. But I'm so excited about my peppers. The rest of my other varieties are still ripening, but these are ready for eating, and I am so excited. Welcome to my secondary bean patch, where I have runner beans or pole beans as well as more bush beans. I'm gonna get to picking, and let's see if I can add to this basket. I'm gonna have a lot of beans to deal with. I think that's a good problem. All right, and that concludes my second picking out of my bean patch. I've already picked on this a few times, so it's kind of winding down, but it's still producing, especially the runner beans. As long as you keep picking them, they will continue to produce throughout the season, although I love my bush beans. So I've got 3 varieties. There's a lot of air traffic here. So I have 3 varieties growing down here. I have this yellow wax bean called Rockin' Court. I don't think I'm gonna grow it next year, and I might try a different yellow bean because the beans are not as big or as vigorous as I would like. I also have this incredible pole bean called Emerite. I bought it from William Dam Seeds, and I'm definitely gonna try and save seeds from this, and if not, I will buy them again, because this is a beautiful, slender bean, really tender, delicious. And I also had a few of this bush bean, which is a green bean, called Lewis. And I actually had really poor germination on this one, and almost none of my seeds came up. So although the quality of the bean is really nice, I will not be repurchasing this variety. And I had a few more dragon tongues planted down here as well. So that's it for my harvest for today. Thank you if you're still with me. This is a time in the garden that's probably my favorite of all year. Not everything. This is always my favorite time in the garden, and I just love harvesting vegetables. And I kind of make it a little bit of a challenge to try to either preserve them to eat later, or to get as much use out of them as possible, or try and give some away if family and friends are interested in some fresh veg. So thank you so much for watching. I hope your gardens are in max production right now, and until next time, bye. So my basket is now a little more full. This has been my third picking down in this bean patch, so things are starting to slow down, but I still have some beautiful beans. I'm now kind of having this as a challenge to preserve as much as I can for later, and of course eat as much while it's fresh and at its peak. So I have a few different types of beans. I have this type is new to me. It's called Rockin' Court, and this is a yellow wax bean. I will not grow this again next year because I don't find it very productive, and the beans themselves I think could be of better quality. I've also got this incredible long slender bean, which is actually my runner bean climbing up this netting, and it's called Emerite, and it's from William Dam Seeds. It is amazing. I'm definitely going to grow it next year, and I'm going to try and save some of my own seed. If not, I will happily repurchase. And I had a few more dragon tongues snuck into this garden, my all-time favorite bush bean. I also had a green bean bush bean planted. This one is called Lewis, and I actually had really poor germination, so I will not be repurchasing, although the quality of the bean is really nice. So I hope right now your gardens are producing and all of your hard work is paying off. Again, we all have our successes and failures. There's so many things that didn't work out for me in the garden this year, and I'll probably do a video on that. But I hope whatever you're doing, you're well. Thank you again for watching my channel, and until next time, bye.